Hi, welcome back to Manage Japan Vid, where I talk about Japan every single day. Today, I kind of want to talk about Japanese history. Probably do like just a real quick recap of the whole Japanese history as I know it, which is not bad, but not very well either. Most of my references, beside like talking to Japanese people, reading some books, going to museum, is Isaac Mayer. Is it like two A's? I'm sorry, Isaac. I'm not sure. Mayer. He's a podcaster who has the podcast. I believe it's the History of Japan or Japanese History, the Japanese History podcast. Anyway, it's by Isaac Mayer, and it's really good. The first few episodes, he went through Japanese history chronologically. It was really good, and but those were like real old. His real old stuff. Like this was like the first episodes to I don't know. He did I think uh more than 10, but I'm not sure how many episodes talking about like Japanese history quite in detail. He's historian. He at the time I think was a doctoral candidate for history of Japan, and yeah, it was really good. But because that's all, the quality might not be as good. But he did a retake, a more a newer one on just the same like the whole period of Japan. I'm not sure what episode it is. I think you can Google it or like AI it. What's the verb? AI something? Ask AI to find the episodes he did where he talked the second time about Japanese history with better audio, I'm sure, and also probably a better script because after a few hundreds episode, I know he's in the hundreds. He obviously got good. Yeah, I'm not listening to him as much right now, but I used to like listen real a lot, and he's really good. So, okay, now let's talk about Japanese history as I understood it. Isaac, I'm sorry if I make mistakes. If you ever see this video, please do correct me. Okay, well, we have Japan. Japan. And then you have here's the island. I talk about the Japanese geography in another video if you want to check. So we have China, we have Korea, we have Hokkaido, we have this Honshu, Kyushu, Shikoku. Well, something like this, right? Okay, so I believe that the first people to come to Japan, the one who become what we call now the Ainu, and were also called the Emishi. As far as I understand, they're kind of similar people. They came from the north, so they used to be like a bridge, an ice bridge or something. Anyway, they were said to come from the north, and then they live here. And there's a really good Jomon museum in Aomori. But yeah, and then uh, later come people actually from Korea, who are like the newer people who are also the ancestors of Japan, and today's Japanese people kind of are a mix of both. So both the Ainu or Emishi and the uh, I don't know what you call the other one, but like the one who are more similar to Chinese people. Okay, so that's like basic. Now these people when they come from Korea, so these people I know there were like I think the people who did the Jomon, the first period of Japan is called Jomon, and Jomon means rope marks because they used to make like pottery. I'm sure this is a bad one, but it was like what is called like when they made the pattern to make it beautiful. I don't know the English word by using like rope marks, and this is why the civilization is called Jomon. And I believe this is like the first pottery in the world, the oldest pottery in the world. And so in Jomon period, and the people here they were hunter gatherer most of the time. I believe I've heard that they also they used to live near what kind of trees? Cooties, chestnut or something. But they also use a lot of grains, but not grains, nuts. They used to eat a lot of nuts from the trees. So trees have nuts, and they used to eat the nuts. I think that's what they found from the place where they live. So they find like it's not an encampment, but a place where many people from Jomon period live. Okay, now, Jomon people, then, so that's the first period, Jomon. And then, as I've told you, people a few thousand years later come from Korea, most likely people who are like escaping from Korea because there were a lot of wars or something going on here. And they would come and come again. They come to a period that's called Yayoi. The difference between Jomon and Yayoi period is that in Yayoi period, people started planting rice. So they started not no longer being hunter-gatherer. They started being an agricultural society. And as you know, then you can support like a large population, and people started living together. And Japan is so I think it was more in the south, like here, like around Kyoto to its south, Kyushu, Shikoku, which had like a good flat uh, geological feature. What's it called? Like geographical. I don't know. Anyway, it was like good for planting rice. So they started having like small cities or towns, I guess, and then they would agglomerate, becoming small countries. And there was a time there were several countries. One of the country is called Yamatai Koku, and we know about this country because this country was a vessel to uh, the one of the Chinese state who came there, and their leader was called Himiko, I believe, Princess or Queen Himiko, I guess, who was a shaman, they said, and who was a woman and who ruled like the country. So the first uh, known leader of Japan that had actual contact with China, which is why we have a written history of it, was a woman called Queen Himiko. And so here they started making country, and at a certain time, they started also making burial mounds. So this is kind of like uh, the concept, like not the thing. The concept is like kind of like pyramids, because you know the king they want to be buried like in, I don't know, great things. So here, Kofung, they made real mounds. Some of them were like round, and these are like huge, right? This would be a person, and some like even like bigger, right? Like some of them were real huge, and they were all over Japan. And most of them, no, I'm sorry. I think the older period were round, and then I think some were like square, and some were like a keyhole shape. And this, I believe, is because like it's kind of like combination of both or something. The famous one are like near Osaka or in Osaka Prefecture. There's like a huge one which is keyhole shape, like and surrounded by water, I believe, and like this would be like house, the size of houses. So they started making this, and this, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong. This like obvious to me obviously shows like that there were like people who had more and more power over more and more people, because like this is something you can do like with just like three people, like hey, make a huge burial ground. This is like people would need to employ like I don't know how many people, like, but I'm gonna guess in tens or hundreds, and which also means they did not have to be productive. So that would mean they would have not productive, as in they did not have to hunt every single day, meaning they would have like food for sustaining people who weren't working, producing food, right? So probably the society was like being bigger and stuff. Ooh, am I forgetting the next part? I think it's Asuka. I think we go right straight to Asuka. Oh, I hope I'm not wrong. Anyway, somewhere around here, you get the country of what we would call Yamato, or it was maybe already called Yamato, which I talk about in my uh, video, but the Wa kanji. So big Wa, Yamato. Yamato is the how we call Japan before Nihon. I'm not sure when, but anyway, it's called Yamato. It was the court, and Asuka. This is marked by the Buddhism coming into Japan. Before Buddhism, they had like the gods, which are kind of like now Shinto gods, and then they had Buddhism. And like, listen to Isaac Mayer's podcast; it's amazing. I'm not able to tell you the reason why some people try to get like Buddhism. It's kind of like because of the religious system they wanted to like. Anyway, I'm just gonna mess up if I talk about it. Anyway, Buddhism came to Japan. Like I think it's like the 500s or something like that, 500 something. This was like, he's from BC. This is like 2000, 20,000 BC or something. Jomon is like, or 10,000 BC. And anyway, it's like a long time ago. And then Yayoi was also in the thousands BC, I believe. Kofung is more recent, but I don't know when. And then Asuka, I think, is the 500, so it's like way more modern. Uh, there was like already a court. They were already had like relationship with China, which was like on and off. Like sometimes I think they were vassals there, sometimes they were not. I'm talking out of my, yeah, here, so I'm sorry. But after Asuka, here we get to like the Nara period. Well, this is also interesting. Like now, I want to kind of talk about like more Japan. So you had in the past in Japan, they had like the capital. Let's say like this is a part of Japan. The capital. I don't even need this. The capital would move like every time like something bad happened. So if like there was like disease, obviously, then you would like, oh no, this place has been like dirtied by. Once again, my understanding. I'm not a historian by any stretch of the imagination. I I enjoy learning about it. I enjoy talking about it, but I'm not so. Do correct me if I'm wrong. But my understanding is they did not like. They associated some things with uh, bad luck, I guess, or dirt. So death, like many people dying. Then they would. Oh, the capital needs to be like clean, so they would move the capital, build a new capital, and then I believe every time like the emperor would die, they would move the capital because like the emperor dying is bad luck, right? Moving the capital, so they would move the capital like every so often. The first capital they kept for quite a long time was called Heijokyo, which is now called Nara. So if you know Nara, Nara Prefecture, but actually the Nara city, I guess it's she. But yeah, Nara city is where you have Todaiji, you have many beautiful things, and that's because it was like the first one where they stayed there for like around 100 years, I believe. I think it might have been even an empress who like wanted them to stay there. But eventually they did move to Kyoto, which at the time was called Heian-kyo. Heian. And this kind of the start of the Heian period. Uh, yeah, I guess I don't want to make the video too long, so that was like the beginning. I'm gonna talk about Heian and so on the next video. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video.